The flag's up, the tension's building.
Never had a rollover. Oh.
This is surfboat rowing.
Oh, it's action-packed, this one.
St Kilda now, can they hold it? Look how good this vision is on screen. Exciting racing here at the ASRL Open. Great drone shot.
That is huge surfboat action. Ooh, punches through one there.
What is going on? How good is this?
Good morning everyone, we are on our first day for live stream here at Bulli Beach. We've had an interesting setup already, had one day cancelled, but we are on the line now for Interstates. I'm joined here with Grant Wilkinson, of course. Wilco, how are you today?
I'm much better than I was this time yesterday. It's what a turnaround in the weather. Yesterday we had rain and storm of pretty much biblical proportions, and today it's nothing but clear blue skies, no wind and a small little wave. So what a turnaround.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been fantastic. And so we're actually on Sharky's Beach here on the northern side of Bulli Headland, and we're on for our first race, which is the reserve women for our Interstate today. So in Alley 1 we've got Queensland. In Alley 2 we have South Australia. Alley 3 we have Victoria. Alley 4 we've got WA, who are joining us back after 3 years. And Alley 5 we've got New South Wales.
And it looks like New South Wales have got the better of the start. It's a bit of a tricky beach here. There's not much of a wave on really, but it's just that little wave on the edge there makes a big difference on how crews get away. And because it is, at the moment it is all rowing, there's not a lot of assistance out on the ocean there, so that start is critical. Yes. Girls looking like they're rowing well there. Look, They're all pretty much come back in a line, so that's good. Good way to start the interstate. You wanted a nice, tight competition. You don't want any team or any crew to really run away with it. And the reserve women here, they're setting up, for the rest of their teams.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is really quite tight between alleys 1, 2 and 5. So this is WA, North Cottesloe on screen now, rowing really fluidly there too. Nice rowing together, and it's so good that they're back here this year, especially after borders and COVID and all sorts of dramas.
Yeah, after everything, the whole world's gone through the last few years, it's good to get all those teams back together and get them on the beach. So it looks like New South Wales has just moved away a little bit, but it'll be interesting to see here how the cans are situated. Looks like New South Wales are going to just sort of roll into their can, probably half a length be ahead of Queensland in alley 1. So you could see there, everyone's pretty tight. New South Wales not having a bad turn, but it shows you how deceptive the camera angle is. It looked like New South Wales were probably a couple of lengths ahead there, but the way the boys are set up, alley 5 looks like it's just out to sea a little bit. They're chasing there. You can see the sweep calling them up.
Yep, really riding that runner straight through the gate can, it seems. And up in alley 1, we've got Queensland. That's the Currumbin Savages, new to the Interstate team this year. They've got a new rower in their crew, and they've been really strong all season so far. SA leading, though, in alley 2. Great job there by those girls. But New South Wales is just absolutely flying it back, really trying to keep their bodies back on those runners here.
It looks like New South Wales just opened up out of the cans a little bit, got a bit of a...
So Queensland on screen now. That's Billy Pasoltis, the sweep, egging those girls on to try and get as many runners as possible and keep on SA's tail.
Yeah. South Australia having a really good row here. They've opened up a little bit as well. Probably more the conditions that they're used to, more benign conditions, not too much of a wave down in Adelaide.
And a really good pick-up on those runners as well, as you can see in alley 2. But alley 5, New South Wales just easing into it. A clear lead there, as you can see. A great win so far by New South Wales.
Yeah. So from our angle, looks like New South Wales 1, South Australia 2. It'll be interesting to see Queensland looking like holding up 3, and just off screen there, Western Australia, Victoria just fighting it out for 4th and 5th there as they come across the line. But good row there for New South Wales. They really came away with it at the end.
So not being biased, but who's your pick?
I think New South Wales for sure.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
Boring.
It's hard not to go past your home state. I'm fairly one-eyed, and I'm happy to admit that.
Oh,
but,
okay.
No, I do like to see New South Wales do well, but I also like to see the other states get up, like South Australia there coming away with a second and beating Queensland. That's good for the sport in total. Like, even if they came away from win, they did beat New South Wales. That's really good. You see the other states, some of the smaller states, and it gives everyone else in that state a chance to go, well, if they're matching it, so can we.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was absolutely fantastic, especially for the interstate. We've got the SA under-23 girls. They also represented Australia last weekend in New Zealand. It's fantastic to see the diversity that was across the Australian team too. It wasn't just dominated by one state.
Yeah, that was an absolutely fantastic story. The Glenelg Grenades representing Australia. They got the Australian team jersey back in December pretty convincingly too. So here we go as we roll into the open female surf boat. And looks like we're just setting up. We can see Palm Beach just out of screen as the starters trying to get the fairest start he possibly can, even though there's not much action on the edge. It'll make a difference, especially once you get to this level. You're looking at the elite, the open female. No one faster in the female division. These crews are all well drilled. They're all fit. They're all strong.
These are men.
Aha. So the graphic was wrong. Sorry about that. It's hard to see here with the glare as well. this early in the morning between our live stream screen and what's on the water. As we get away, it looks like we've got New South Wales in Alley 1. Is that Queensland Alley 2? South Australia Alley 3, Victoria Alley 4, and WA in 5. Well, here we go. So we've got reserve male, which would make sense following reserve female, wouldn't
Yes,
it?
correct.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So why we didn't think about that before.
Yep, so Currumbin looks like, so Queensland and Alley 2, they seem to have got a bit more of a jump on this start, but this is a really tight line so far, along with Alley 4, Victoria having a really good start too. But there's going to be absolutely nothing between this, I think. It's going to be extremely tight.
You look at that, pretty much more or less a straight line. It'll be interesting to see how they go come into these turning boys as well.
Yeah, so coming into the can now, it looks like Alley 1's going to get there first, and then following in that direct line, going through the gate can. Alley 1's really driven through, so that's Palm Beach representing New South Wales there.
You can just see the technique there, really laying back with this flat water. Get a good lock on at the catch, get plenty of drive through the stroke, and then just hanging the shoulders out the back a little bit, let the bow drop down, let the boat do some work underneath you. We just saw Victoria there look like they'd set up going to the wrong can, and that is the problem here. We mentioned about the early morning glare. When you're a sweep rowing to sea, you can't really see the colour of the boys. It's just silhouettes out on the ocean.
Yep, so back on New South Wales on screen, really egging on and trying to get as much out of that first runner as possible. They had a great turn around their can though, and they're really milking that as much as possible. There's something happening out to sea. There's a sweep has fallen out. Victoria's
Victoria
sweep has fallen out at the can.
That was a sweep that had gone the wrong way and had to correct himself at the last minute. I dare say that sharp turn has resulted in that. He's just been flung out. So they'll be disappointed with that, but they've got to pick themselves up, make sure they finish the race, and get the points for their team.
Oh, massive shootout here from from Queensland in Alley 2. They've really gone to towns on New South Wales, but there's a few runners building in both of these. It could be really tight on the line. The camera angle is a little bit deceptive at this stage, but from our perspective, it's really tight with Queensland.
Looks like Queensland again on this run. If they can milk this, they're going to come away with it. But just on top of it, they need to just couple more strokes to get that bow to drop down, and they'll run it all the way to shore.
Yep, so that's Queensland.
Fantastic row.
Yes, one for us. So Queensland, that's actually represented from the Currumbin Huskars, who have returned as a crew, not rowing in open men's this year, but, well, have definitely gone to town in reserve grade, and completely fantastic.
We didn't get to see the other placings there as they came across the line, but that last quarter of the race, you saw Queensland really open up, chase those runners better than any other crew, and they just skipped away from everyone. Saw the boat planing and doing a really good job there, just milking everything. And it looks like Victoria just going to come across the line, just out of screen now. They'll be disappointed with that. The sweep will be devastated. He picked the wrong line on the way out, but again, it can happen, especially early in the morning. You can't really see what the colours of the cans are. They're just all silhouettes on the ocean. It's quite easy to miscount or to tell another sweep they're on the wrong buoy, but in fact you are. So I'll pick themselves up. The Victorians are pretty resilient, renowned for being a very good team, always putting their best foot forward. So they'll bounce back from that as a team. Okay, so lining up for the next event, every state will move along one alley to their right. So that last race, New South Wales had alley 1, which means they should move to alley 2. Queensland will move from 2 to 3 and so on up the chain. females. Just not sure at this stage which division it is.
Yeah.
It's a really good event, the Interstate. It's one that all the crews really strive to be a part of. It's always good to have representative honours, and you know, apart from representing your country, wearing the green and gold, state colours are obviously the next highest accolade. So everyone here is obviously trying to put their best foot forward.
Yep, so coming up next on the line, we've actually got our underage relay. So this will be the under-19s and under-23s relay. They'll have Alley 1 will be WA, Western Australia, sorry. Alley 2 will be New South Wales, Alley 3 will be Queensland, and Alley 4 will be South Australia, and Alley 5 will be Victoria. So with the underage relay and any relay, the teams can do whatever order they want. They don't have to go under 19 men, under 19 women, under 23 men, under 23 women. They can go in any order they see fit and what will get them, they believe, the best result.
And the relays are around the gate cans, I'm led to believe, which is probably 2/3 of the distance of the normal course. So there'll be plenty of speed off the line here. Crews will want to get a really good start, set themselves up well. There's not a lot of time to settle into it before they're setting up for the turn. So this will be all about speed off the line and getting the boat to really sing.
And also a run up the beach too to tag the next boat to go down.
Yeah, it becomes quite strategic on who runs. So if you use a rower, obviously they're fatigued after rowing for the last few minutes. If you use a sweep, most of the sweeps are a little bit older and much like myself, a bit older and fatter and heavier and not as fast. So it becomes a real strategic battle on who you use in the relay. And sometimes that couple of metres in a run leg, by the time they come and tag the next boat, that couple of metres might be just enough for the next crew to clear a little shorey and not get hit, or conversely for another crew to get hit, and then that expands out into lengths, and you take that out over four different legs of the relay, and it really adds up by the end of it. So it looks like we're getting set now. Looks like the big man Aaron Tannehill down on screen there, setting up the beach side of things. As you can see from the aerial shot, where great vision from the drone. There's not a lot of, it's not a long break. Probably only got 10 or 20 metres, but that 10 or 20 metres can really hold you up, even though the waves are small. Just that little clip on the bow at the start might be enough to check your boat by half a length, 3/4 of a length, and then making that up in these conditions while it's flat, minimal wind, minimal assistance on the water is really difficult sometimes. So it looks like here we're getting ready for the start. Starter's up on the stand. Flag is up. I dare say we might, looking off screen here, I dare say we won't be far away. Looks like set's just about to finish. Anytime soon we should be up and running with the
Western Australia in 1, New South Wales in 2, Queensland in 3, South Australia in 4, Victoria in 5. We'll see 4 groups, under 19 female, under 19 male, 23 male and female competing this event. They'll go out and around the first set of cans you can see out there, half distance of the normal surf boat race.
We're just confirming entries here.
Yep, so it'll be Western Australia is starting in Alley 1, New South Wales in Alley 2, Queensland in Alley 3, South Australia in Alley 4, and Victoria, Alley 5. So that's going from top to bottom from this view, just so you don't get confused as which one is actually Alley 1. But they're all waiting for the start line here, just relaxed at this stage.
The starter being extremely patient here, waiting a long time to get him away. I thought he was gearing himself for a start earlier, but I'm not sure what he's waiting for. Cruiser on the line, they're ready. Second leg of the relay looks like it's ready as well. I think they're just clearing a couple of boats off the line to give the runners a clear shot at their turning flag.
So we'll just give you some... Oh, here we go. The flag is up now. They're ready to go. There's the starter there on his little ladder for today. Unfortunately, we haven't had any scaffolding down yet for the starter stand, but a ladder is going to do the job.
Okay, so the gun is up. Looks like one little wave to get through, and they're away. So you can see one of the crew members running down there, or the sweep running down. Different strategies again, whether you have a rower. Alley 2 just getting clipped a little bit, and that's the difference that start can make. Alley 2 and 3 just getting clipped. 4 and 5 having a little bit more clear water.
Yep, seems like Alley 3 Queensland has actually got the best start there. They would have been practicing this though, I'm sure. Currumbin's a very competitive club and they've had all the time in the world. So this is actually the under-19s from Currumbin on the screen now. These are the Chili Peppers. They won the Australian titles last year in the ginormous surf. Did a fantastic job and they've been training the house down this season and been getting all the results. So they should have a good turnout today. But it looks like SA in Alley 4 is just behind them, as well as New South Wales in Alley 2.
So really nice rowing here from the Queenslanders. Nice and smooth, nothing looks rushed, nothing looks panicked, and they're already at their gate cans, which for the relay is going to be their turn. So a much quicker race, doesn't give the rowers much time to settle in. So the sweep there, grab the sweep all, lock it in, gives the boat something to pivot around.
And it seems like they've just lost a couple of lengths there, but Alley 4, that's New South Wales, SA, sorry, but they've actually drafted in the Coleroy Cobras from New South Wales. So that's also a very strong crew. Victoria in Alley 5, Alley 5 gaining a lot in that space, but Alley 1 really dropping off so far. Hopefully they can regain it in their next few divisions.
That turn was really interesting. You saw probably New South Wales and South Australia had the better of the turn. They actually had a better spin than Queensland, but Queensland's acceleration out of the turn was so much better. They just gave them that half a length lead, which they've got now.
Yeah, and just maintaining it against South Australia there. It's going to be extremely tight, but it's so good to see SA up in the competition. I really think they're going to put some pressure on New South Wales and Queensland today. Top points.
A few little runners here. Looks like New South Wales just teetering on the top of it, and Queensland should be able to milk this for a little bit longer as well. Maintain that lead.
It's getting tight here. Stay on it, girls. Don't let it collapse yet. New South Wales really going for that jump there. So
sweeps have to navigate between, get close enough to their turning flag to have a crew member get out and run. You see the runners there going up the beach, but they've also got to navigate the second leg. The boats are lined up for the second leg.
This is extremely tight. SA from Alley 3 have really shot out here, overtaking Queensland, but it is so tight between Alleys 1, 2 and 3. As you can see, there's still some navigating happening with Alley 5 here. All out so far.
Looks like Victoria in alley 5. The runner actually for the second leg had to navigate around the lawn boat. The lawn sweep had let the boat go sideways and he had to sort of get around, and that cost him about half a length at the start there. And sometimes that's all it takes. That half a length will expand out to 1 or 2 lengths once you get clipped by a wave on the edge.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see South Australia, they have just taken over the lead from New South Wales and Queensland, doing a fantastic job with their transition. We also have alley 1 WA there, just coming back into it now. But nice rhythm so far by these two crews on screen. So that's New South Wales on the left and Queensland on the right.
On the left there looks like the stance of Gus Spiteri from South Curly. He's got a very distinctive style, one of the best sweeps in the business.
Yeah, they've really caught up to South Australia, haven't they, and actually taken back over that lead.
Yeah, and this will be interesting to see who makes the best of this turn. Yes, New South Wales, South Curly. Going into that, quite a good spin there.
Yeah, Victoria coming in. They're going quite wide with their turn. Queensland have had a very tight turn in comparison back in alley 2 and have caught back up to Victoria. But as you can see...
Western Australia too up in alley 1. They'd made up a lot of ground, but something happened again at their turn and they went very wide and slowed right down. So it'll be interesting to see what's going on down there in alley 1. Maybe there's something on the course. It's unusual for a crew who's got the ability to represent their state to be that far or to mess up like that on a turn. Everyone's well drilled.
It's also a lot of nerves that go into it though too.
Absolutely.
Especially in a shorter race. Your adrenaline is absolutely pumping and through the roof. And sometimes those mistakes just creep in. But so far, only Queensland have stuck with a female crew change. Every other state has gone to men's crews.
Little running here under
second
South
leg.
Australia. And I think this is going to bring them right back up. It has. It's brought them right back up in line with New South Wales, who've had to actually sit and wait for this wave. Again, you see the sweeps having to navigate the third leg of this relay. They have to navigate the crews that are set up on the edge.
That's SA, the runner on screen now.
There we go. South Australia and New South Wales neck and neck.
A brilliant transition by SA. They've actually taken
South Australia just going to get clipped a little bit.
Yeah, keep it back together, stay in time. That's so crucial during this stage. New South Wales not copying anything in alley 1 at that stage. Queensland now joining the team, but that's back. New South Wales, Palm Beach on screen.
Peter Spence there, Palm Beach, doing very well. Any crew under Peter Spence is a good crew. They're always well drilled, got good speed, and you can see them opening up here. Spence would be giving them plenty of gentle words of encouragement on the way to sea.
Sure, gentle, yes.
But it looks like they've opened up a little bit on South Australia. South Australia were really unlucky there. They actually had the lead coming down to the boat and jumping in and just got clipped.
New South Wales, Spencer actually taking a look over his shoulder to see where everyone's at. I think he's making sure that we're turning at the right can, not going beyond it.
I think Spencer would have been checking, that it's the gate cans and what can he's actually on.
He's going into his can now. Quite a sharp turn. The boy just under the bow seat. Fantastic lineup there. Queensland and alley 2 really catching up on SA. Could be interesting to see how they regain on the return home. SA just have to make sure they have a tight turn, slightly off the can, a bit wide. And Queensland coming in really tight and have regained a lot.
Again, you can see the little things matter at this level where everyone's super elite. Queensland had a really tight, good turn. South Australia went a little bit wide, lost their speed, lost the boat speed, and that was all it took. There was a length and a half there that Queensland made up for pretty much no extra effort. It was a really well-drilled turn from Queensland, and South Australia, all that effort getting into that position and sort of wasted just on the turn there, unfortunately for them.
Yep, so it's going to be who can get the best of the runners at this stage. New South Wales, a clear lead ahead, along with Queensland just in front of South Australia. And then we have WA up in alley 1 on the far back of the screen. So they've actually picked up a lot. WA have come back into the scene, probably in time with Victoria.
Looks like South Australia there, just off screen, just dropped off a runner. This will bring Queensland back to the beach, just a small little runner. We'll bring them in, nothing much, not a lot of assistance there, but just enough to get the boat flowing that little bit quicker. Victoria on one of the rare waves of the day, they can pull down this, just come into screen there.
Here come the runners, all doing their transitions. New South Wales is already out, going through the first break. A clear run away. Queensland also heading out to sea, just touched the boat. They've got their Maroochydore men there. SA have just touched the boat. They're going out now. Very tight between these two states indeed this year, as you can see on screen.
So Michael Brooks, former ASRL president, sweeping for Maroochydore. He'll be giving it to his crew. He'll be telling them to chase down New South Wales. He'll be trying to instill the belief in them that they can do it too.
Yep, so this is the final leg of the relay. Incredibly crucial. So Maroochydore, they've also been the Australian won Aussie Championships last year. Fantastic team, really strong, but look how smooth they are too. So they row round Rolex as well, and just so laid back. Their ratings a lot lower compared to the others, but they are gaining too. They are moving.
Queensland, they're coming right back into this. Megsy will be lifting them. It's like South Curly in and out of that turn there. They'll be trying to chase the runners.
Not a great turn by New South Wales. They've really lost a lot in that space, haven't they?
Queensland here might get caught up with South Australia. See, Megsy had to do a very tight turn here just to miss the oars. South Australia.
That's Maroochydore on screen, Queensland on screen. Here comes a really good runner behind, encouraging them, laying back as much as possible. A good rate change there as well. Look at the bowman laying back, runner. Completely
That's
laying back.
Huge runner. And you can see the difference with the round Rolex there. They over feather at the catch. The blade face is actually facing down at the water.
Yep, New South Wales in a hole here. Queensland really regaining.
Motoring.
They've got a runner just underneath them. If they could just catch this, they might gain back onto New South Wales. Incredibly tight between these two crews. Queensland
look like they're on a runner here. Look at this.
Yes.
They're coming right back up onto them.
New
South Wales
runner.
in dead water.
Look at the composure of that, though. There's nothing at a time. Just all together, really composed, calm.
They're going to go straight past New South Wales here.
New South Wales, we can hear them from the beach. They are screaming for them to get across. Megsy's running. He is a great sprinter. Off he goes. Both sweeps are sprinting, and he's just jogging now. He knows. He's got it. All the cheers from Queensland at this stage. They'd be very happy with that result, especially with some of the legs. They were probably biting a lot of nails.
It's like South Australia coming in here for third.
Victoria also on a really nice runner here too. So they've had a couple of little problems happening in that relay, but have actually regained nicely.
That was a huge comeback from Queensland. As I said, Megsy would have jumped into that last leg, trying to instill the belief in the girls that they could do it, and they did it. That was a fantastic road. As you said, maintain their composure the whole way through.
Yeah.
Very good rowing.
Alrighty, so that was an exciting one to go. So we're going to be following up with the opens and reserves relay. So in Alley 1 will be Victoria, Alley 2 will be Western Australia, Alley 3 will be New South Wales, Alley 4 will be Queensland, and Alley 5 will be South Australia. So just for some context while they're setting up for the next one, we've got in Team New South Wales, we'll have South Kelkel Burleigh as the open men. North Kelkel women, North Kelkel Venom are open men. Palm Beach Plumbers for reserves and South Kelkel Milk for reserves as well. South Australia has the Brighton Bulls, Brighton Broncos, Grange 57s and Southport Swell. Queensland has Currumbin Krakens, Currumbin Cockatoos Twos, Currumbin Skulls, and Currumbin Savages. Yes, Currumbin have taken out a lot of the 5 placings.
Currumbin Club Championships here.
Yep, pretty much. They do that every weekend anyway. And WA will have Mullaloo Storm Bridges and Mullaloo Misfits, North Cottesloe Moose and City G's. Victoria, we have Port Campbell Subsonic, Lawn Badgers, Port Campbell Rockets, St Kilda Salamanders. And that is our teams for the Interstate for the Open and Reserves Relay.
Leisure Coast, Illawarra, one of the nicest parts of the world.
Do you wish you lived down here sometimes?
I did live down here for a while, twice. I lifeguarded at Stanwell Park Beach for a few years and then went to Wollongong Uni, did my first degree there and lived at Corrimal right on the beach. It was, it's a very, very nice part of the world. That was a long, long time ago now. Now I'm stuck in Sydney in the rat race. Life down here is much more relaxed. That's why they call it the Leisure Coast.
Oh, sounds good to me. Except for that rain that came through yesterday. That was an absolute doozy.
Yes. Yeah.
So we had everything set up yesterday. The beach was completely dressed. Absolutely fantastic. That monsoon, it seemed, came through and washed nearly everything away. A car went out to sea. Not one of ours. But just put a whole spanner in the works, of course, for our ASRL Open. Not a surprise at all, really.
Whatever can happen, whatever can go wrong, generally does go wrong.
Yes. But anyway, we've come above it. We've made sure that we can still put on as much racing as possible for this weekend and have had a jumble up of the program and all sorts. So we just have to ensure that everyone keeps on their toes, is ready to race whenever you get the call up. Keep your club cap on the whole time, sleep with it. Everything in your rushy,
be ready to
all
go.
sorts. Yep, absolutely. You never know. Could be midnight racing if we have to.
To give anyone at home listening an idea of the amount of water that came down yesterday, there's an access road between the north and south end of Bulli Beach, and in the middle there's a bit of a dip in the road. And yesterday, a truck, a ute, and a car got caught in that dip by flash flooding and started floating away. And it took an IRB to actually go out and rescue the drivers of those vehicles. And that happened so quickly that even the truck got caught and actually started, floating off the road.
Oh, goodness.
Quite unbelievable.
Alrighty, we're getting ready here. There's a flag man on the line. He's got his whistle in his mouth, ready to call it to hold their line. This is going to be an extremely fast race here. They're only going around the gate can again, but opens and reserves is just going to be pumping it across.
Yeah, this is the speeches. When you look at reserve grade, there's not a lot of difference in terms of raw speed between reserve grade and A grade. The difference more comes down to the number of quality strokes and being able to execute it over and over. Some of the reserve crews have rode A grade in the past, have been very accomplished crews, but age has started to slow them down and they've stepped down to reserve grade. Doesn't diminish on their speed though and the quality of their rowing. So it looks like we've got four teams here on the line. It looks like we're waiting for one more. I think that's WA looking to... WA taking their time, Northcott taking their time. Maybe they're playing some mind games, trying to put the other crews off, the other states off.
Okay, just relaying what our alleys are again. So alley 1 is going to be Victoria. Alley 2 is Western Australia. Alley 3 is New South Wales. Alley 4 is Queensland. And alley 5 is South Australia. You can see on screen here as well.
Northcott Stroke still doing up his cap when the gun went. That's less than ideal.
That sounds like something you would do. Here we go. A great start by all so far, it seems. A little one going over them now. New South Wales, Queensland all getting hit actually from alley 1 to 5. New South Wales seem to have got the best jump so far on the lead. With alley 1, that's going to be Victoria just not getting much of that hit too.
It looks like New South Wales just cleared that wave a fraction better than everyone. It's just skipped them ahead, maybe half a length on the rest of the field, but overall pretty tight.
Yep, fantastic work so far. So I think from on screen that they're all male crews for their first leg.
They're all hoping to set their team up for a good relay, get a bit of a lead and try and maintain that lead.
Yep,
Again,
so
it becomes really strategic on where you place different crews.
Definitely. So it's New South Wales on screen again. So they actually competed just earlier on this morning, backing up for their second race already. Spency's already been quite busy this morning, hasn't he?
Yes. So Spency calling into this turn. They're already at the turning can now, which is the gates for the relay.
Yep, so it actually looks like alley 1's going into their can first. Alley 2, then alley 3. Alley 4, Queensland's only just getting to their can now, and SA's is quite wide in their approach. Extremely close here, so there they go, holding onto the oar and coming out. They just have to grab that runner that's coming under them right now. They can just pick it up. That'll really assist them with their run home to catch back up. So Victoria and alley 1 still extremely tight, with Western Australia in alley 2 and New South Wales in alley 3. Queensland just dropping behind in alley 4, but a runner is underneath them, changing gear there. That's Western Australia on screen now. Oh, sorry, that's Victoria.
Victoria, it looks like lawn. There's not a lot on offer here. All crews have hit a bit of dead water on the way home. So a couple of tiny little swells building. It's whether they can utilise these swells here.
And it's going to be extremely tight with their transition, so that's going to be the cleanest part. If you got a quick run, a nice transition, no slewing, nothing like that, then you'll gain loads. Queensland going completely off their peg and heading towards South Australia. The other Currumbin crew reminding them, head this way, please. Here goes, there goes WA running up on screen. New South Wales actually falling behind in their run as well. Queensland only getting to their peg now. A good sprint down though by Lyle. Here's a quick little rabbit. Here we go. So this is the next leg now. WA have actually got the best jump so far. They are out to sea.
I think that's the City of Perth girls for WA. They're out in the lead. Sorry, my mistake.
They're just borrowing your boat.
You're just borrowing the Allura boat.
But brilliant
actually,
job
Queensland had a really good start there. New South Wales had to actually stop and wait for a little shory when their runner got to the boat. And Queensland hit the boat at full stride and were in and away, and they made up a few lengths and a rode straight past New South Wales in this leg.
So if WA, if they keep their lead, this will really pick them back up into this race of things.
Traditionally, the relays were worth double points. We're not sure if that's still the case with this relay or not. Here we go. You see them setting up for the turns now. And wow. Okay, so alley 1. By the look of this, I dare say that the course is very out. Just alley 1 wasn't that far up. So it looks like South Australians going to Alley 5 here. Those southern boys have drifted out, or the northern boys have drifted in on the line. But that looks like it's magnified whatever's happened in the rowing department. The boys moving out the back.
WA
So
still
WA.
in the lead. Yep. Easy with Victoria right behind them on their tail. New South Wales seem to have a bit of a runner underneath in Alley 3. Queensland also trying to milk that as much as possible. So that's Victoria on screen now. Lorne, they've got a nice one coming up. They have to pick it up, though, to get it and get the most out of it. It's a nice one.
It's
There
just
they go.
enough to get a little bit of a run out of the top of it. Get a bit of boat run.
Slightly
There we
fattening
go.
up, though, it
WA
seems.
milking that little one. I gave them no chance of pulling over that, and they just proved me wrong and just drove straight over the front of it. Well done.
Nice job there. Good run up the beach.
Go Western Australia. They've got a great lead here. They're in a good position.
So Victoria have they're doing their run up the beach now. New South Wales coming in third so far. SA in Alley 5, they've really picked up on Queensland, as you can see, but there's WA heading back out to sea. If they
Northcott just getting clipped there by a couple of tiny little waves. It just took a fraction of a run off the boat. They're another club, Northcott, that very few crews come out of Northcott as low that aren't good, that aren't fast. So they'll account for that, those couple of little waves at the start, and they'll get their rhythm back. And at this stage, it looks like they've really opened up to a really commanding lead.
Yeah, there's a lot happening in Alleys 4 and 5 there, with Queensland and South Australia getting clipped as they head out to sea. Not as much happening for Alleys 1 and 3. But this will be interesting to see how it all regains back for this race.
So the bottom of the screen, Queensland and South Australia. That's Southport, South Australia. The bottom of the screen there. They've caught back up to Queensland there, and they'll be trying to hang on as best they can. Give them the hope that they can get in and get a few more points for their state. But Western Australia look like they've opened right up here. Doing extremely well.
Yep, so this is the third leg. We've got one more to go. WA just have to keep it composed, keep it together, and they can tidy this up very nicely, but not also get complacent with that too. A lot of things can happen when it comes to the open divisions, especially with their strategy. If they've got open men last, that'll just tie it up for them. So Victoria back a screen there, as you can see. A few runners going underneath them too. WA keeping composed, got a nice runner underneath them, picking up the pace.
Nice. Well done. Victoria had the best of the turn on that course. Put a couple of lengths on New South Wales here, but Queensland looks like the biggest mover. They're pulled away from South Australia and on the hunt now for New South Wales. By the look of the screen there are a couple of runners out there that the crews can just use just to skip along a little bit. New South Wales just latching onto something there.
Yep, trying to get a bit more of a gain on Victoria here as well.
Yep, they've caught back up to Victoria just for that run. They're not waves out their back, but the runners are short enough and steep enough to get some boat speed.
Yep, there goes New South Wales on screen, trying to get as much out of that one as possible for their final transition.
Looks like a little one here, just building under the tuck. Mark Spiteri there at the back, resting them, getting them ready for the run up the beach. And they've gone straight past Victoria here.
Yep, Queensland have done a great
New South
job
Wales.
off screen at the moment, but they've done a brilliant job to hit the beach at the same time as Victoria. Could be putting them back into the race. WA, something happened with their transition, wasn't as fast as what I was expecting with their lead, and they've got New South Wales, which is the Bulleye boys, on their tail, and they're going to give it everything they can to get ahead. And look at that jump. That is impressive.
Wow.
Looks like they're hunting them down, doesn't it?
The last crew that you would want chasing you is Bulleye Open men. They are always say they're a benchmark crew. They're what everyone else sets themselves against to see how you're going. You know, everything's in relation to how Bulli row. They are the elite of the elite, the current Australian champions.
That is amazing, isn't it? Like the lead that WA had, and Bulli have just gone, yeah, sure, I'll take that from you, thank you.
Yes.
Absolutely massive. Queensland also doing a huge jump with that's their open men, the Krakens from Currumbin. They're coming into the swing of things, and they're not going to go down without a fight, of course.
Yeah, the big movers in that last leg were Queensland, but Bulli now really capitalising on that start, the good start that they had. And you've got to have confidence in a relay if you've got Bulli open men finishing you off. You know that any position you're in,
yes,
you're in with a chance with those guys rowing the final leg. So Shane up the back there, left-handed sweep, gets a nice tight turn, and the acceleration, they'll open up here while the other crews, looks like WA had a bit of an issue there at the turn with that one.
Yep.
Lost a little bit.
Victoria gaining on WA as well.
And Queensland as well, right back into it. Queensland a really strong chance here of getting back up into second place.
Absolutely.
The way they've rowed to sea.
Wow, New South Wales have just absolutely taken over here, haven't they?
Again, the current Australian champions. Probably one of the best crews in history, the amount of titles they've won. And really dominating.
So this is going to be a really tight finish for second place between Victoria, WA and Queensland. It's going to be right on the line and to that run finish, I believe.
I thought Queensland might have gone with their row to sea. They might have gone straight past the Victorians, but Victorians are holding on strong.
Yeah, they're not going to let go of it, are they?
Here we go. There's a little runner here. And WA might even latch onto this as well. Maybe just dropping off the back of it. But this could be a race for second between Queensland and Victoria.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be... Queensland have also been doing OT to this cruise, so they should be used to the run up the beach. An incredibly fast runner by Jesse.
We've just lost vision.
Queensland just got that in second place off on the beach. WA coming in for fourth place, Victoria taking out third. And SA will be coming in for fifth place.
We had the drone vision there of the finish, but just cut away, unfortunately. Be interesting to see who got that.
Okay, we'll even have a look at the point score if we can after that race once it's gone through, just to give you an update.
So we're setting up here. It's a pretty quick turnaround for the Interstate. Again, you're looking at the best of each division from their states. Everyone here is very experienced, very good. They all know what they're doing. Moving boats up and down the beach, getting set for their next race. There's not a lot of downtime in the Interstate. Probably the biggest downtime usually comes from the team managers, trying to give pep talks and trying to pump people up.
So here are the results now, as you can see. So far New South Wales in first place, Queensland in second place, third Victoria, fourth WA and fifth SA.
As we go to the progressive points tally.
Oh, this is close.
Very tight. The old grudge match, New South Wales and Queensland. Who are you going for?
Who do
Edwina?
you think? Who do you think?
Victoria?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go the Vicks.
Yeah. Anyone but New South Wales. Anyone. I am open
harsh.
to the field.
That's very harsh.
It's necessary.
Yeah.
Someone needs to put New South Wales in their place.
Okay.
Not first. Alrighty, so up next we're going to be having the under-19 female. That'll have Alley 1 will be South Australia, Alley 2 will be Victoria, Alley 3 will be Western Australia. Alley 4 will be New South Wales, and Alley 5 will be Queensland.
The under-19 females are, compared to all the other divisions, is relatively new. I only came in a couple of years ago, and it's fantastic. I know in my own branch, Sydney branch, we had a branch championships just last weekend. I think the under-19s, both male and female, were the biggest divisions. So it's great to see the influx of youth into our sport, and especially the young girls. It gives them, you know, that there is no difference between the boys and the girls, men and the women, and it's really come a long way in terms of the numbers. Where, you know, there were some old bristly pundits who've been around the beach for 1,000 years who were debating whether they'd get the numbers for under-19 females to create a decent division. They've been more than proven wrong, and the under-19s has really flourished, and it's fantastic to see.
Well, it's actually one of our biggest growing divisions, especially in females. So we're fortunate enough for this sport to be majority 50-50 for men and women, but in later years we've actually had a lot more women coming into the field, which is just so exciting to see, proving a lot of old boys wrong, frankly.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic.
Alrighty, here we go. Flags up on the line. So these girls have already done their one relay race so far, but this one is to the back can, not just the gate can. A slightly longer race for everyone. Hopefully their lungs have recovered from the last one. I'm sure it's a bit of a lung burner today.
There's not a lot of surf work off the edge, so that start is critical. Once they're cleared that first 20 metres, it's a long, hard drag race. Not a lot of wind to help them there. So starter just taking his time, trying to get the absolute fairest start. Looks like the gun is up.
Here they go.
And we're away.
Very even at this stage, it seems, but I think New South Wales and Alley 4 has actually had the best start, along with Lorne, Victoria and Alley 2. A great jump. Extremely tight so far across the line. So those alleys aren't actually correct. It's South Australia. Yep, so South Australia and Alley 1, Victoria and Alley 2, Western Australia and Alley 3 in the middle of the field there. Alley 4 is New South Wales and Queensland and Alley 5. So at this stage they seem like they're all even across the line, but don't be deceived. The drone can sometimes put that perspective onto you. It always comes down to the gate can and the turning can as to where crews actually are. So that's New South Wales on screen. Nice job by these girls, really laying back, finesse all the way through.
And the rowing stroke in surfboat rowing compared to river rowing is slightly different. Boat's a lot wider, a lot heavier, doesn't have the same speed, so it does require a little bit more of a muscling approach. And also you have to account obviously for swells and chops and different things out the back. But everyone, it'll be interesting to see. We saw in the relay that the cans they went around, the gate cans, were slightly out, and how it affected the crews running to sea. It'll be interesting to see how this pans out here. Everyone more or less in a line. Alley 1 just going in there first. That's the Victorians.
South Australia and Alley 1.
Sorry, and Alley 1.
But extremely even by the rest of the crews. Queensland and New South Wales actually probably getting the best turn so far. New South Wales already back straight on their line. Bit more of a runner under Alley 1 and 2 it seems, but New South Wales and Queensland aren't going to give up without a fight. That's New South Wales on screen now. So obviously with under-19s, you know, you could have someone, it's their first season, or someone who's already been doing this for 4 years. They can start competing from the age of 15. and so there's a lot of experience mixed in this one, but if you can get your timing right and have your fitness up for under 19s, it's anyone's game. But with all these girls for Interstate, they've already got that underneath their belt, as you can see with the line being extremely tight.
It's really nice rowing. That aerial shot from a coaching perspective is just invaluable. You can see the blade work. All crews just really, again, as Eddie, as you just said, the under 19s, they're not going to have the same raw power that you would expect an open men's crew to have. They haven't got the same body weight. However, the boat is a lot lighter as well, so the boat can float along and you still get a lot of speed. Just because they're a little bit smaller, maybe a little bit lighter, doesn't diminish the actual boat speed that they can achieve. And you can look at this, South Australia in one.
South Australia really putting it on to New South Wales. They're quite tight next to each other too, so if there's going to be blades clashing at any point, I don't think they're going to give it up. Queensland, Ali 4, they've stopped rowing. They've got a nice little wave underneath them. They're going to probably wrap this up with the first place for Queensland. And in Ali 4, New South Wales are going to be fighting it across the line with Victoria as well. With South Australia.
From our angle here, it looked like South Australia maybe in 2, New South Wales 3, and Victoria in 4, but we'll leave that one a bit deceptive. You can see just near the top of the screen, that's the finish line. Judges up on the tower there, we'll leave that to them and see what results come back. That was a fantastic race.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, it just shows you the quality. Even for, there's a couple of those crews who've got 17-year-old females in there, and they are outstanding.
Very nice. So we're going to be leading up with, after this, the under-19 male. And we'll wait through for the results for that race. But under-19 male will have Queensland in Ali 1, South Australia in Ali 2, Victoria in Ali 3, Western Australia in Ali 4, and New South Wales in Ali 5.
Jenny Turley, the keeper of the official point score down under the 10. G'day, Jenny. Good to see you here again. Absolute stalwart, the surf boats.
Okay, we're just going to double check and see if any results have come through so far. Not yet.
So we've had great support down here from Wollongong City Council. They've allowed us to have multiple backup venues in the case of disaster, which happened yesterday.
There you go, so that's the results. Queensland in first, South Australia taking out second, Victoria came in with third, knocking off New South Wales that came in fourth, and Western Australia finishing up in fifth position. So that was extremely tight between second to fourth, wasn't it?
Yeah, right on the line.
These are the overall results so far. Queensland coming up first.
Damn it.
New South Wales in second. South Australia in third. Victoria in fourth. And WA in fifth. So all of those watching at home, if you're competing throughout the weekend, make sure to jump onto the ASRL app to keep on top of results and program and everything that's happening up to date. We've also got a brand new website too, very fancy. And make sure you get into on our challenges too. We have a location challenge of going around different parts of Wollongong, and you can pick yourself up a very nice prize, which will be announced as soon as possible. Here we go. We have under 19 men on the line now. The flag is up. And there goes the hooter. Ooh, something happening with WA. Their timing wasn't so great on the start. Getting knocked around by those first couple of little bumps.
Victoria as well, Port Campbell. Just went a little bit sideways. Lost a little bit of boat speed as they hit that second one. It looks like they've just lost a length or two off the start there. Great to see Port Campbell here representing Victoria. That's fantastic.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of work with redevelopment down in Victoria and getting as many crews back on the water. Aaron Tannehill's rejoined the Victorian team, and we all know what he's like in development and youth development. He's all about it. So it'll be interesting to see how they grow in the next few years with him back on board.
Yeah, we need the rowers coming through. The under-19s, under-23s, that's the future of our sport. That's fantastic to see, like the numbers being pushed down there.
So that's South Australia on screen now. Nice rowing by these boys here. So it seems like it's quite an even field at this stage off screen. We probably have Alley 2 and Alley 5 up in the lead. So that'll be South Australia and New South Wales. Once we get the drone footage back up, that'll give us a different perspective. With the glare, it's a little bit challenging to dictate.
You can see the glare there from this wide angle shot, and that's actually what the sweeps have got rowing to see as well. You can't often see this time of the morning with the sun on the water, you can't often see the colours of the boys, or you can see the silhouette, so you actually have to count, and mistakes can happen.
That's New South Wales on screen. A nice runner underneath, and they've got a good one coming up behind too. If they can milk that as much as possible, that would set them up for a nice lead, I believe. They are ahead in Alley 5.
So, New South Wales.
No. Here we go.
And that's what can happen. They can miss their gate can.
That's really going to set them back.
Gus Spiteri, as I said before, one of the absolute best in the business. And with the glare
gave him
on
the commentator's curse.
I did. Yeah, mocked him, put the mocker on him. He just with that glare on the water, sometimes you can miss the tiniest little thing, and they've gone from in front to a long way back. And that looks like,
I think that's WA in the lead there at the bottom of screen, taking that for advantage.
and look at this nice little runner here.
A good job there to drop over it.
Yeah, Western Australia, and they'll get set up for the one behind as well. Brought them right back into it. Look at this.
Yep, so that's Queensland top of screen, South Australia in the middle there of this mix, and WA down the bottom. Queensland trying to regain, get on that little runner and get their bow down. They've just got onto that.
Just got onto that, latched onto it. South Australia need to get their bow over the front of it as well. They've got a little bubble in front, looks like.
It's going to be really tight to the line.
Coming at the line.
WA have got that. They went over the front. Keep it straight and they'll get it. Yep, they're across. So that's going to be very tight for first, second and third. I think WA would have just got it. But between Queensland and South Australia, that's going to be to the judges there. So coming in now, that's WA. Oh, slewing across New South Wales.
And that mistake, New South Wales opens the door on the overall points.
It really does. That's going to be gutting
pesky
for them.
Queenslanders might have just given enough of a start on the overall points to really leap away. As we talk about pesky Queenslanders, Don Cottrell joins us here doing the on-beach commentary.
Good morning, Don. How are you?
A couple of big names in surfboats right here. Grant Wilkinson, Edwina Wright. Glorious day. What a difference 24 hours makes. And Wilco, I just came over here to check, mate. Was that New South Wales that came across the line in last position there?
I do believe so, yes.
Ring-a-ding-ding. There go the Kings. New South Wales. Just about impossible to wrestle the Interstate trophy off those guys. They've dominated this for many years. But that's going to hurt them, Wilco. Don't know. I'm thinking there must have been some gear failure or something there. That's that'll do it.
Yeah,
that'll do it.
It's a very, very rare error. As I said, Gus Spiteri, one of the best in the business. You don't see him do something like that very often at all.
Who was up the back of that, mate?
Mark Spiteri. Yep.
There you go. South curl sweep. One of the best in the country. Well, guys, I'm back to beach commentary. Good luck, good call.
Nice of you to come over here and just check on my welfare.
Well, I just saw New
The
South
welfare
Wales.
of all the New South Welshmen.
Just saw New South Wales get minimum points there, mate. Of course I had to come over.
Yeah, couldn't resist, could you?
I think Corey, the Queensland State Rep team, he'll be having kittens right now, trying to contain himself. He doesn't want to jinx it. Last year, I think he was gutted. It was so close, so incredibly close.
Yeah.
It's always been a point apart, and he's the most passionate team manager I think we've ever had. Never given up on faith. But this year could finally be his year. Alrighty. So next on the line, we're going to be having the under-23 females. Alley 1 will be New South Wales. Alley 2 will be Queensland. Alley 3 will be South Australia. Alley 4 will be Victoria. And Alley 5 is Western Australia. So Alley 5, Western Australia, that's the City of Perth girls, the under-23 girls. And you spent a fair bit of time with them too, didn't you?
Yeah, we've both been lucky enough to help them out at different stages. They're really good with their coaching in that they're open to having other people come in and help. And was lucky enough to fly over there for a weekend in the off season and they help them out with some training and programming and everything. And they're passionate about their competition, passionate about rowing, and it was great to see them actually get the representative honour for Western Australia. They're borrowing our boat, the Lura boat. So for this one, I'm torn between New South Wales and the WA girls.
Just give up on New South Wales, I say. Alrighty, here we go. The hooter has gone. Pretty even line so far with that first little wave. Seems to have got everyone. Oh, what is happening? No.
Clash of oars off the start.
So New South Wales and Queensland have just run into each other, it seems.
Get them, New South Wales, get them. They look like actually South Australia.
Yes, sorry, South
Glenelg,
Australia
who are
and
the
Queensland.
current Australian representative crew.
Yes, they're not girls to muck around with either.
No, they are absolutely electric. They are very, very fast.
So I'm not sure if there's actually been alley change here or not, but it seems like SA is now in alley 2 and Queensland is in alley 3.
That might have been the mix-up at the start, perhaps.
Potentially.
They're still very close together, so something's happened here.
I don't know if South Australia might try and actually cut across. Yes, they've just swapped over. So that the original start list was correct. So Queensland's meant to be in alley 2 and SA in alley 3.
So that's Queensland cutting behind.
Yeah, so that's a Dickie Beach Tushies. They've represented Queensland, it seems like, a million years in a row. A fantastic crew. They know what they're doing and they're going to put the money where their mouth is. But it looks like an alley 1 New South Wales are just taking on the lead with WA in alley 5. Very consistent line so far. It's going to be that crucial run home which will separate them, I think.
Again, from a coaching perspective, fantastic vision here. You see the blade work. They've actually done a little bit of work from a drone footage with the City of Perth girls, the WA crew here, and they're rowing really well, getting the most lock on the water for each stroke. They've got good boat speed, just setting themselves for this turn now.
Yep, alley 1 going in first, alley 3 followed by alley 4 and alley 5. Queensland coming up in alley 2 last. But they have a pretty tight turn. I think they'll be able to regain themselves. WA actually having a very wide outtake.
And South Australia, I knew it wouldn't take them too long. The current Australian representative team, as well as being the South Australian representatives, they caught up an awful long way on that road to sea.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Extremely
representing your country as well as your state, that has to give you a huge confidence boost.
Yeah, definitely.
Self-belief, just to know that you can do it. You can row crews back down. You haven't got to make up the distance within 10 strokes. The only time you need to be in the lead is when you finish, go across the finish line.
There's some pretty good runners out there too, as you can see on screen. They just have to make sure that they pick up with them and drop back down and take on the heavies as they come. But SA really dominating in this space so far. Alley 1 New South Wales also holding on for dear life at this stage as they try and regain some points. But Victoria right on SA's tail, it seems, and actually potentially taking over, putting on a lot of pressure on these girls. New South Wales seem to have taken the lead. They might have a few more runners up in that alley. Yeah, that's SA on screen now on the left.
South Australia. Queensland just behind them. I'm not going to count out the Queenslanders. I've done that too many times and had to eat my words, but looks like
New South Wales are going to take this one, regain those crucial points. Victoria, I think, are going to come in at second place here in Alley 4, followed by potentially WA in Alley 5.
WA need to, from a New South Wales perspective, WA need to try and sneak across before Queensland negate that last race.
It was challenging. Nothing much for Alley 2 there for Queensland coming back home.
And this is where it gets really interesting in terms of the overall points, because you might think that you have a really dominant crew, and which Queensland probably do have, but a little mix-up on the start there, and it affects not just their race, but the overall points.
Definitely. And that's where the nerves and the anticipation does get a little bit overwhelming at times, because you might get the wrong information, or who knows, just creeps in and can actually make a really crucial change. It's kind of like that finals feeling. Okay, next we're going to have the under-23 men. So we'll have Western Australia in Alley 1, New South Wales in Alley 2, Queensland in Alley 3, South Australia in Alley 4, and Victoria in Alley 5. So I wonder if soon if we'll be able to get a interstate total point score just for an update. We'll see if we got those results from the last race through. Yep, so we're just waiting on some results at the moment. But as soon as we get that, we'll show a progressive point tally just to keep everyone at home. They don't have to have their own little spreadsheets going. We know that a lot of the interstate team reps, they've got their own sheets, making sure they can tally at the same time, predict what can happen, and try and plan as much as possible. Okay, so we've got the flag up on the line here. Hooter's gone. Oh, great start. Even at this stage, it seems. It seems like Maroochydore in the middle, Queensland have actually got the best jump.
Queensland, that start was red hot. See the middle of the screen there, they've just jumped out a full length ahead of everyone else. That's
a little bit more happening fast for for Victoria and Alley 5. It seems a bit more bumpy ones are coming through. That's Queensland on the left and SA on the right, as you can see. Yeah, really clear dominant lead by Queensland so far. Just a reminder, WA is in Alley 1, New South Wales are in Alley 2, Queensland in Alley 3, South Australia in Alley 4, Victoria in Alley 5. So that's working top to bottom. Really even between the other alleys at this stage though. New South Wales and South Australia very tight together, along with WA and Victoria just behind them.
And Queensland, they're really capitalising on a very fast start. Their road to sea, very smooth. And Brooksy, being a left-handed sweep, I would imagine will have the best of this turn as well. A little bit easier to push the oar and to swing the boat around rather than to try and pull on it as a right-handed sweep. So they can come into that buoy, approach the buoy at a little bit of a tighter arc. As he hits it, he'll just give the oar a big shove.
Nice.
Grab the stroke, the handle of the stroke oar, and they're away.
WA going really wide with their turn again, very far off their can. That won't help them at this stage. But it seems like Alley 2, New South Wales and South Australia are still very tight together for that crucial second place. Queensland with a dominant lead, and Victoria also with a runner underneath them too. Seems like WA up in Alley 1, they have to work quite a fair bit to get back into this race.
New South Wales and South Australia look like out of the turn. They were on the hunt for Queensland. Queensland had such a dominant road to sea. It's whether they can hang on. At the moment, they are hanging on to it. New South Wales doing their absolute best to try and make up any ground, but Queensland latching onto every single little runner. See the bow just drop down then.
That's them on screen now.
The stern just lifted up and the boat wants to run. So often it's just a matter of just tapping along. See it drops off here, boat gets heavy, a lot of pressure on the legs. So you see
that's New South Wales coming up hot on the left,
that's
giving
Peter
it
Spence.
as much as they can. Look at that pickup, trying to get the runner. But I think Queensland could be still, yep, they're still ahead. But New South Wales aren't going to give it up.
Onto this, but I think the line's going to beat them.
Oh, that's going to be extremely close. So here we go for that third place. It's going to be between South Australia and Victoria, I believe.
South Australia might have got that. Victorians just eased off rowing for a second, got their breath back. But again, I think the line beat them. South Australia might have just got to the line a fraction before. It's hard to know from the screen. We don't get to see the southern finish tower, so it's hard to know exactly where that line is from our perspective. But very tight in a couple of those finishes there. And again, it'll come down to that 1 or 2 points here and there makes a big difference on the overall tally. And that's what everyone's after. They want to win their individual races. You know, that's bragging rights for the other crews in that division. But ultimately, you want to win the point score. I've been on both sides of it in the past, representing New South Wales, fortunate enough to do it with different crews. We've been on the losing end, which was horrible, especially because Queensland won it.
Hooray.
And then we've been lucky enough to be part of a winning team as well, and it's a fantastic feeling.
Well, it's also brilliant having the Interstate at the beginning of the ASRL Open too, because it just brings up so much of a team hype too. Alrighty, we're going to be having some results now. So at this stage, it was Queensland in first place, New South Wales in second, South Australia third place, and Victoria fourth with WA fifth. And the overall point score too. Ooh. Queensland 66, New South Wales in second, South Australia in third, Victoria in fourth, and WA in fifth. They're still extremely tight between all of these.
And South Australia they've had a good couple of results there back to back, and it's
definitely
that sort of cleared them away from Victoria and WA, and you don't know, they could be up mixing it, really pressuring New South Wales soon. I think, much I hate to say it, I think Queensland might have an unassailable lead. 6 points is a long way to get back.
But when it comes to that crucial last relay with everyone, that can just blow it all out of the water as well.
That can blow it out of the water, but the Queensland spirit, the passion, I can't see it really. That's a big task for New South Wales to chase them down. Big task for South Australia to try and catch up, but you never know what's going to happen next. We saw, a clash in one of the races before. Looked like two boats were in the wrong alley. We saw New South Wales miss their gate can, have to stop, go around and get a last place.
Yep.
Those little things can happen, and especially in a relay, 8 legs, double points.
Yep. So we're going to be moving on to the Open Women for this next race. We'll have Victoria in Alley 1, Western Australia Alley 2, New South Wales in Alley 3, Queensland in Alley 4, and South Australia in Alley 5. Flags up. And the gun's up too. That's the flag representation for the gun, or the hooter. Gun is down.
So obviously the starter can see something he's not happy with. A couple of small waves. It might be just on one side of the field, so it's going to hit one crew and not another. As a boat sweep, all you want to know is that if you're going to get smashed by a wave, that everyone else is going to get smashed along with you.
Yeah. And there they go. And it seems like it is quite an even line too across with that one. A few people taking on a bit of a hit. very even start at this stage. It looks like Alley 2, Western Australia, and Alley 4 have got the best jump so far. So that's WA and Alley 2 in Queensland and Alley 4. All quite close together at this stage too. So that's the Currumbin Cockatoos. They're actually a returning crew this season. They've had 2 babies happen in the last couple of months, so they're ready to party with this part of the season, giving it everything they can. And that is WA on screen now.
It's amazing how many females return to rowing after having children and are better, stronger, more resilient. After having kids, they come back and they just go ahead in leaps and bounds. It's so good to see. We're just getting a little bit more wind starting to puff here. The nor'easter's forecast to get up to quite strong by the end of the day, 20 to 25 knots, and it's at 9:30 in the morning. It's just started a light breeze started to kick in.
Victoria have caught up in this too, so they're going through the gate cans. As by that one, we've got Queensland in the lead, followed by WA in Alley 2, Victoria in Alley 1.
Well,
something's happening
something
here.
happened there too. That looked like, was that South Australia?
That's South Australia, yep.
Not sure what's going on there. Maybe they got, whoa.
Were they heading potentially to the wrong cairn? I think they were heading to the wrong cairn. They're going completely off course. Yep, that glare's got to them too.
Right. And again, little things like that, you don't know what's going to happen. Very experienced sweep. Not being able to count the cans.
Oh, not having the best of turns either. Queensland Alley 4 have shot out of their turn, with New South Wales and WA and Victoria all very close together. That's going to be really crucial for that second place points. WA really need this too to get back up into the game. So that's Currumbin on screen. Matt Wildman is the sweep of that crew. It's brilliant to see these girls back together. They were the Aussie champs when they last competed, and also the ASRL Open champs too. So I'm sure they're ready to dance this weekend and do it once again.
The other crews are starting to give them a bit of a shake though.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can see in Victoria and Alley 1 and WA.
Victoria just falling off the back of the runner, but a tiny little one popping up here now for WA. Looks like, see the bow just dip. If they can run along the top of this, get close enough to Queensland to take advantage of this, maybe this next runner, they could be up in line with them.
Definitely. Just seems like Queensland's in a bit of dead water at this stage. A little one underneath them, but they're going to just have to row all the way in, it seems. I think they're quite comfortable though. Nothing's going to catch them at this stage. It's going to be all about those second place points, I think, between Victoria and WA. I think Victoria might have just got the jump on WA just then.
That would be the Lawn Edge, I dare say, the Lawn girls. Fantastic. Fourth place there looks like for New South Wales, and that might seal it for the overall points. And South Australia.
I'm not going to jinx it. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to give out the commentator's curse.
Quick, jinx.
No.
South Australia just having that little mishap on the way to sea, and often you'll find that if one thing goes wrong, it can get compounded.
Definitely.
Crews lose and sweeps lose composure. Drop the ball, so to speak. That's a real shame because they're quite a good crew too.
So we've got one more race to go, and then we'll have the all-in relay.
You see Bulli men there, open men already setting up on their home beach. Getting themselves set. They'll be keen to get out here and race. Blow out the cobwebs. They start open competition tomorrow. Had a fantastic row on the relay before. They'll really want to stamp their dominance on this race, I would imagine. I dare say they've got friends and family standing up the top of the beach here watching them, as well as other club members. We're just waiting for the results to come through now. So we see Lorne, the big man Jeff Matthews, sweeping up the back for Victoria. This will be a really good race. Open men, the fastest division overall, and you rattle off all the crews that are involved. It's absolutely fantastic to see here. So
we've got results on screen. Queensland in first, Victoria second, Western Australia in third, New South Wales in fourth, and South Australia in fifth. Okay, we're going to be finishing off. Here's our progressive points so far. Queensland in 76, New South Wales in 67, South Australia in 62, Victoria in 59, WA in 56. So just so everyone is aware, the under-23 women's points has still not been released. So that could have a change in that space. There could be something under contention there, or checking the line just to make sure that they've got the right boat in the right position. Or there could also be a protest due to the start.
I think there would be a protest due to the start. Sweeps would be claiming that the officials maybe gave them the wrong starting positions, the wrong alleys, and as we all know, sweeps are never wrong. It's always the crew or the officials, apparently, that are always in the wrong. So we don't know where that will lead and what that will do to the overall points. But
so there's Lyle on screen with his Currumbin Krakens. They're the Queensland team, doing extremely well in the OT competition. They only just fell short of taking out the overall series, but they're going to put the pressure on. So this is their first year in Open Division, stepping up from reserve grade. New South Wales on screen, Bulleye, great start. Everyone copping that on the nose, it seems. Another one. And look at the rate, just absolutely bolting through.
Well, and there's been a big clash here between WA and Victoria.
Not good.
And again, this can put have a huge influence on the overall points. Lorne and Northcott, some of the biggest names in surfboat rowing, those clubs. For them to have a clash like that off the jump, off the start, is massive. Queensland. Now, if anyone, I'm an unashamed supporter of New South Wales, but if anyone can challenge the might of Bulleye Open men, it's Queensland and Lyle Clark. Probably one of my favourite sweeps to sit and watch when there's a wave on.
He's brilliant. He's a frog. He just doesn't let go. It's just amazing to watch. But these two have also been having some great racing over the OT series, so they're very familiar with one another and have been challenging each other over that. And so here today, it won't be any different.
And you can see.
But that looks like South Australia, Victoria and WA all together on from left to right. We've already got off screen that New South Wales and Queensland have gone around their cans, actually.
Yeah.
And they're on the return home. South Australia going into their can first out of these three on screen.
So hopefully we can get some vision of New South Wales and Queensland. They're locked neck and neck off screen.
Yep, so Victoria going into theirs. That's Currumbin now. That's Queensland now on screen. Doing as much as they can with that runner coming up, changing gear, picking up. It seems like they're still neck and neck, though, with New South Wales.
And again, Lyle Clark, one of the absolute best at latching on to any little runner on the ocean and using it for everything.
But I think New South Wales are just ahead of them.
Just ahead, but Queensland hanging on, and tiny little runner building behind Queensland here. Bulleye looked like they just hit a bit of dead water, unfortunately. So this is going to be tight all the way to the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go with the drone.
We're back up.
Wow. So Bulleye, they're just ahead. Going to get that runner a bit more than Queensland, but there's one coming up behind. But I think New South Wales
Bulleye just hitting a bit of dead water now. And Queensland looking like they're trying to latch onto something.
Here we go. Oh.
Here we go. Queensland coming back at them.
Oh, New South Wales are just going to get the nose in that one. Queensland are going to come in for a second place, taking that all the way to the line. Great racing by those two crews. And it'll be very tight contention. We think that South Australia are going to come in with a third place here, followed by Victoria.
Victoria, then WA, but so that's a shame for open men to have a clash like that off the start. It would have been really good to see a line of 6 boats rowing to see what they could, what they could do. You always want it fair. You want to beat. Obviously, everyone's there to try and win, but you want to be able to beat the best on the fairest course. So we'll leave that one to the hierarchy, to the head honchos to sort out what went wrong and who's to blame. But I imagine there'd be a couple of words being said down on water's edge.
Yes, definitely. But they do have to put that all aside because they're going to be back up on the line shortly for the all-category relay. This is the last thing of the interstate before we go into reserve grade for the rest of the day. That's meant to commence at around about midday today, with marshalling happening and safety meeting happening at 11:30 with the sweeps. So we're going to try and get as much racing done today with reserve grade as possible to not disrupt the rest of the program set for the weekend. And hopefully we'll have the results from the open men soon, but there could also be a protest based on that start. Okay, so just so everyone's aware, the under-23 female race, the results have finally been posted. We had New South Wales in first, Victoria in second, South Australia in third, Queensland in fourth, and tied with WA also in fourth. So that'll be based off that start there where there was a bit of a clash between Queensland and South Australia, and they would have given Queensland equal last points. So just a reminder, also coming back into the relay, they'll be going around the gate can, and this will lead to double points too. It's a very crucial race. Some brilliant shots there too of our surrounds, very nice. Of course, from yesterday we weren't actually meant to be on this beach at Sharkies, but based on how the conditions have gone from yesterday, we've had to shift the northern area to this side of the headland, and the southern area will remain on Bulleye. It's going to be a little bit challenging, especially for some of those clubs that have been split between the two. So, for example, Currumbin, they've got a few sweeps in the northern area and a few sweeps in the southern area, which will be challenging for them because they are a very united and proud club. They want to be all together, as everyone does. But when you've got the best in the country, all in your club, you do have to be separated. So with yesterday, we actually were completely set up, and that's the old beach here, as you can see on screen. So that big line in the middle, that was just a trickle yesterday, and as pretty much the monsoon came through, it completely opened up the bank. We won't be able to have both areas competing on the one area, and it was a mad dash to try and get gear off the beach as well, because we weren't sure how severe it would end up. It was fantastic to see how everyone came together to take up stands, boats still on trailers, up the access points. It was a really great show of community and effort there. But thankfully with the weather today, we're able to stay here, not pack up everything and move location. That's always a massive job for everyone, because obviously we have a tie. We want to stay with the club that we've signed up to and ensure that everyone gets to enjoy the most out of it.
My apologies, just sorting out boats for travelling crews, both City of Perth and Piha from New Zealand, using a couple of our boats, and they're up next in the reserve grade, so trying to get on the water. It was good to have just Edwina's voice on commentary for a little while and not having to listen to me. That was
sure.
good.
No, they're sick of me. Okay, so at this stage yet we haven't got what state will be in which alley. I'm not sure if that comes down to overall points where they will end up. We're still waiting on that information to come through.
I dare say the officials will have plenty on their hands at the moment after the under-23 female and then the open male. There'll be protest forms flying left, right and centre.
Yes, so the under-23 female were finalised, and they had Queensland equal last place with WA. Alrighty, so we've just been sent through a few videos. All the teams, as you can see on screen, are actually having their final team debrief. So this is a very big pump up for everyone. This is the last dance of the day for the Interstate. And I'm sure people want to really stamp their mark too. I know that Corey from Queensland will be jumping up and down, but trying to contain himself as much as possible. It's going to be extremely close, and it's nice to see that New South Wales have a little bit more pressure on them this year.
You mentioned it before about nerves. The relay, the big relay at the end, all 8 divisions in there. Everyone gets into that team environment. So you got 8 crews standing around and sweeps, and it's extremely exciting, but it's also, in all honesty, very nerve-wracking when you're standing there and you're under the pump. It's your chance to stand up. So we're just getting some information filtering through that they're looking at perhaps seeding the top 2 states on the point score, Queensland and New South Wales, as we're joined once again by Don Cottrell. He just walked over. As soon as I said Queensland were leading the point score, he was standing 100 metres away and he ran over here. He heard me from 100 metres away just to confirm that Queensland are leading, aren't they, Don?
Dare to dream if you're a Queenslander. Dare to dream. 6 points in front currently. That's an unofficial point score over the New South Wales team. That is rare air for the Queenslanders, being in front of New South Wales going into our last event, being the all-age category relay. And Edwina, I think you've got the alley draw here. They were talking about seeding the top 2 states into the centre alleys.
Yep, so in alley 1 we have Victoria. New South Wales are going to be in alley 2, Queensland in alley 3, South Australia in alley 4, and WA in alley 5.
So seeing I've got 2 Queenslanders sitting alongside me, who's your pick for the relay?
Anyone but New South Wales.
Oh, anyone but Queensland.
Oh my God. I'm just
Wow,
going to go
you've
run
heard
away
it
now.
here first.
No, anyone but New South Wales.
Heard it here first. Come on, Don. I just want to hear it.
Mate, I don't want to put the commentator's curse out there, mate.
That was my hope. I'm looking for any angle I can get here. Double commentator's curse might be enough just to get New South Wales across the line.
Sorry, Wilco, you're not going to get it. So many things can happen here. There are 7 chances for the bowman to jump out of the boat and fall on his face, his or her face. There will be boats that'll be tied up on the edge trying to get around one another. Anything can happen in these relays. Queensland just need to finish within 1 place of New South Wales here to take it out, is my calculation. I don't know whether I'm right or I'm wrong on that one, but it's all on. It's come down to the last race of the day, as it's done in previous years. And anything can happen here, Wilco.
It can. We've seen it in the other races so far. Crews clashing off the start line, which is really unusual. People missing gate cans, people going the wrong way. On the way, both on the way to sea and the way coming home. So for a day that's fairly benign in terms of conditions, you know, it's only small waves and a short break, but it's yeah, a lot of things have happened.
Definitely. So I just want to ask Don, what happened to your chance to take out the Queensland state team? You had a pretty hot season so far with the mighty Cab Savs. How are you feeling for today's racing?
Now we're talking Edwina. Let's get on to the main game. The Masters crew, the Cab Savs at 220, doing quite well in Queensland in reserve grade. I'm going to talk us up because no one else will. No, they're we've come in a little underprepared. COVID. We've got our number 1 bowman did his knee. You might know him, Gary Williams, the swoop. And we've grabbed a fill-in rower for this event. We're just happy to be on the water. Obviously disappointed that the Masters was cancelled yesterday, but understand the reasons behind the decision made by the ASRL.
And so have you gone for your warm-up row with your new bowman?
No, we're going to come in hot. And
blow everyone away, of course.
Yeah, he comes with good credentials, and thanks again to the ASRL for being flexible with the rules. They allow a rower from another club. We ran out of options at Tullabudgera and we were able to go to Wanda. We've grabbed one of their rowers who has a connection to one of our guys in the crew. He's just recently rowed in the George Bass, so he'll be fit enough, that's for sure. And, the dredge, apparently the dredge from Wanda is going to be filling in for the mighty Cab Savs.
And that's been a really good initiative started from back in your time, Don, on the ASRL committee, where that flexibility you mentioned around the rules of allowing a composite team to be entered, or if someone gets injured, for a rower from another club to come down and fill in. It's a great initiative because it keeps crews on the water and keeps them competing, and sometimes things happen that are out of your control, and there's no use 3 out of 4 rowers being ready to go and sitting at the back of the beach watching everything for 3 days on end.
Absolutely, mate, and that's what the ASRL is all about. It's about finding ways to get crews on the water, not finding ways to DQ people and allow them not to race. It's get them on the water. So what? You've grabbed another rower from another club. He's never been in the boat with you before. It's not an advantage. It's a disadvantage to that crew, and the rules have been allowed, the local rules for the competition here at the Open. Congratulations to the ASRL, and it's certainly kept my crew on the water this weekend.
Yeah. As I said, great initiative, and it's been in place now for a number of years, and my hope would be that to some capacity that it would be taken up in the future by SLSA and the people who write the comprehensive and extensive rule book to allow different situations to occur where crews can still race.
Yeah, we've got one of the big names of Surf Life Saving Australia on the beach here today watching Wayne Drury. I think he's out of your club, mate. You might know him. You might have rubbed your hands over him once or twice as well. I think he might even be one of your patients. Maybe you can get him in a compromising position there one day, mate, and put it to him.
Yeah, Wayne, he's the head of sport at SLSA there. Great guy. Since he's taken over, surf sports in general has really come along well. I know he's hamstrung a little bit by other powers and people who like to do everything by the absolute letter of the law. But again, I think it's a great initiative, not just in surf boats, but in all teams throughout surf sports to allow people to compete. That's what we're about. We want people to be part of the clubs. We want them to participate. And your crew is a perfect example today, and no doubt I'll be expecting to see fantastic results out of the Cab Savs with the fill-in.
Yeah, mate, put $10 each way on them, Wilco. They're a dark horse. Made the semis last year. That was certainly good fun.
I actually think I do remember sitting up the top, having a beer with you when you realised you made the semis. And I can't remember if it was disappointment or elation that you'd made the semis.
It's amazing what the surf can do to even out the field, mate. If it had been dead flat, we certainly wouldn't have been there. We don't have the boat speed of some of these other crews, but a bit of experience in the crew. We love a surf. And yeah, it was all good fun. Here's the bulleye work party. Water again for us, doing well. Back to the racing here now. The crew's getting themselves organised logistically. A decent job. We've got to get 8 crews out and around those gate cans back in, rowing half the course. And it would be interesting to know the tactics coming out of each state at the moment. Who are they going to put out there first? Obviously the under-19's the only one the officials have said need to go first. Under-19 females will be first out. After that, it's up to the tactics of each team manager, how they see fit as to what crew goes in the following order. New South Wales so far today look like they've been firing their shots early, sending some of their strongest crews out first. New South Wales have got a history of doing that. Queensland, on the other hand, they tend to hold back a little bit. We saw that in the age category relay where the Maroochydore 23 Force came from about 8 boat lengths behind to get themselves up into first position. It's all about the tactics, mate, and obviously the transition, so very important in the all category relay.
And you've been down there in this position. Would that be your strategy here today, given the conditions?
Mate, I'm like you, Wilco. I like to race from the front. I reckon it always feels better. I don't agree with how Queensland do it, but that's up to them. They've got their reasons for it. I like to see the quickest crews go out first. I think if you're rowing out in front, there's a certain amount of confidence and belief that comes with being in front. You jump into the boat and you look at the other crew that's 8 boat lengths in front of you. It's pretty hard to imagine that you can get around them. So I'm a fan of shooting your best crews out first.
Yeah. It's definitely easier when a crew is in front. They always seem, the majority of the time, to have a run of luck as well. They just clear a wave, or they catch a wave. When you're behind, and you're trying to chase down, you're always hoping off the start you don't get clipped, or coming in that something's going to pop up behind you.
Whistle goes there now, mate. The Czech starter is calling to come into line. I'm going to jump back on the beach commentary. Thanks for the opportunity here to be with the Dream Team on the live stream. Good call, guys.
Thank you, Don. Go the Savs. Go the Savs. Okay, so just a reminder of who is in which alley. Victoria will be in Alley 1, New South Wales will be in Alley 2, Queensland Alley 3, South Australia Alley 4, Western Australia Alley 5. Last race of the day, a lot of cheering happening on the line for the final pump up. So as Don said, it'll be the under-19s pushed out first, and then it's anyone's game as to who they send out.
So he's got the last boat pushing into the water here, gets set. Flags up. We're away. If the runner comes down, they've got to touch the boat before the crew jumps.
Yeah, all together, as you can see, that's WA on screen. Getting clipped just by a couple there, but holding it together at this stage. South Australia in Alley 4 going a little bit sideways. Looks...
Victoria, sorry to cut in, Eddie, top of screen there, Victoria. That's what we mean, just getting clipped. They were just that little bit behind on the jump. and then getting clipped by one wave, and that half a length they were slow on the run and jump is now sort of expanded out into about 2 lengths.
Yep, so that's New South Wales on screen now, as you can see, under 19 women. Really trying to lay it back, but Queensland in the centre there with the Currumbin Chili Peppers doing a nice job together. New South Wales trying to regain on them though too. So this one's also around the gate can. Hopefully all the sweeps have been told that and reminded 1,000 times. We did have an error a few years ago where a crew kept proceeding out to the turning can all the way out and completely lost it for the state. So that's Queensland on screen. Steve Purcell's their sweep. Chili Peppers, this is their 2nd or 3rd season together. They've really gone strength to strength this season, picking up the fitness and training through the off-season too. They really want to have a great season this year and hopefully take out the Open as well as Aussie titles, as well as everyone else does. But even so far for 2nd place with South Australia and New South Wales in alleys 3 and 4. Queensland turning in first, just getting caught up, it seems, on the line, not having a great turn there. It looks like South Australia's actually regained on them a fair bit.
Yeah, South Australia, they look like they probably caught up a good half length, and
definitely
sometimes that half a length is all you need. It just gives you that bit of that little carrot that's dangled there for the crew to go, look, we're back. We pretty much got money for nothing there. And
a nice runner there under South Australia, and there's a few building behind them too. There they go, picking up the gear slightly, trying to keep the nose down as much as possible.
You see as the boat loses its run there, the bow will just lift. As the next swell comes under the stern, under the tuck, bow drops down, and look at South Australia there, really making the best out of that runner.
Yeah, absolutely. Queensland still just having a nose in front at this stage. That's them on screen at the bottom. South Australia.
Looks like New South Wales have a wave building behind them. It will just depend whether they're close enough to...
they're on it. They are going to sail past. Look at that. They have to keep it together. Don't get a crab. Hold it together. South Australia in the lead at this stage. Really built up on their side. Queensland in the middle. It's going to be extremely tight with this transition. And don't slew as well. That is going to be so crucial. Allow the runner the best opportunity. South Australia, a clear run ahead. Queensland running off to New South Wales. Very tight between these three. Queensland have jumped in. That's going to be Maroochydore there. That's Megsy with the under-23 boys.
So South Australia, they're really quick on the jump out and the run. New South Wales just a little bit late on their jump out and run, and you can see the difference that's made at the start here. Queensland out in front.
And South Australia sitting in second, it looks like at this stage, ahead of New South Wales. So we've also got Victoria coming out now, as you can see on the left of screen. Off screen is WA. So that's New South Wales on screen.
South Kirkle. Mark Spiteri there. You see just that little bit of bounce on the ocean now. The wind very slightly building. See the boat bouncing around. South Australia will be well aware that they're close on the point score to New South Wales. And although they might be, not within striking range of Queensland in the lead, if they can take out New South Wales on the overall point score, that'll be amazing for them. They'll be dancing down the street for the rest of the weekend.
Absolutely. So that's Maroochydore on screen. Queensland team coming back now. That's New South Wales on the left, going around their can.
You can see the comparison there. Queensland rowing the round Rolex, really lay back at the end of their stroke. It's a really long stroke through the water, nice and smooth on the exit. New South Wales, we're using the square Rolex, just sit up a little bit more at the back end.
Yep, New South Wales boys on screen with Megsy just ahead of them. Picking it up. It looks like there's a bit more building for New South Wales. Not much for Queensland at this stage. But
like
SA...
Little runner here for Queensland. They'll latch onto this.
SA are trying to build and get onto this runner and get ahead of New South Wales. If they get that bow down, falling off the back of that one.
That was a great run chase from Queensland. There wasn't much there on offer. You could see it on screen. But just off screen, New South Wales and South Australia have actually jagged a wave here.
Looks like the wave of the day, it seems.
Wave of the day.
Queensland are off. So that's Chook with his open women for Queensland next. They're up and running.
And just two little bounces to get through. You see all the boat just getting a tiny bit checked there.
There's another one coming.
And hit a lot harder on that one.
Definitely. So that's going to take off a fair bit of the lead for those girls too. So SA fast approaching with New South Wales off screen on the left. Still sitting, fighting for that second place so far. So that's SA on screen. Incredibly tight so far, but I think New South Wales on the left might be having a nose in front of South Australia.
Yeah, both crews would have seen, both sweeps would have seen Queensland being hit off the start there. They'll be egging their crews on to try and chase them down, but Queensland aren't going to let this lead go too easily.
No, definitely not. They're an incredibly strong crew, these Cockatoos, and they're going to give it absolutely everything they can to tie up their leg of the race and give the rest of the state the opportunity to lead and hold that. But SA seem to have gained a little bit on them too. Going into their turn, it's Lisa Webber. She's standing up there. So they've turned, but I think New South Wales have actually regained onto Queensland and might have even taken over the lead, it seems, at this stage.
And on screen looks like a tiny little swell under both those crews.
Yep, there's one building up behind Queensland now on screen. They have to get this, and they're going to get it, no doubt.
See the bow just drop and run there. You can see the spray coming off. Whenever you get those runners, it's important that you latch onto them and use them for as long as absolutely possible. Keep as much boat speed.
But it looks like off screen that New South Wales have actually got onto that wave ahead and turned something into it. A nice one.
Look at that.
I don't think we've seen anyone catch one from that far out so far today, but that is an amazing lead from New South Wales. And that'll really set them up.
We were talking before about little turn of events during the relay that can change the whole outcome.
Absolutely.
Peter Spence, he'd be very happy with that row from the boys, and with his sweeping to be able to latch onto that wave out in the middle of nowhere.
Yep, so Queensland are going to be coming into the beach now. South Australia off screen. Here they come now. They're going to be coming in third, holding that position. Queensland sending up their runner. Chook is running. He's going to... Oh, little stumble, but he made it. New South Wales back on screen. They've sent their next lot out. So this is leg 3.
That could be the open women from South
4,
Curly there. Winners of the last round of Ocean Thunder. Very strong crew. But who have we got chasing them down?
We've got Queensland. These are going to be the under-19 boys from Alex Heads. And South Australia have also gone out too. So we have Victoria and Ali 1 chasing down WA. That is there on screen now, sending up their runner.
And the other crews waiting on the beach, they'll be sitting there looking at what happened with New South Wales, going, well, that can happen to us.
Absolutely.
We can jag one from the middle of the field and come sailing right through, so never ever give up.
Nope, so that's New South Wales on screen, Queensland just behind and trying to regain as much as possible. We've even got some spectating boats out on the side there. Don't get distracted that that's a competitive crew. It's not.
One of the reserve crews, no doubt warming up and sitting there watching, having the best seat in the house to watch racing.
So that's South Australia as well, trying to regain back onto Queensland 2. New South Wales going into their turning can on screen. Nice turn with a little runner underneath them too. If they can chip it back up, that'll make a really big difference to them and maintain that lead.
I actually think Queensland have mowed them back down a little bit. They've taken some of that lead back away from New South Wales.
That South Australia going into their turning can now, along with Victoria heading out to sea. So they actually got a really good jump on WA, which is at the bottom now. But they're motoring along. So Queensland have a nice runner coming up underneath them. It looks like New South Wales are on a runner.
And Queensland look like they've got a series of really good swells building behind you. You see one just behind the tuck there, building up. South Australia on screen. They're not out of this either. Again, their whole hope would be to try and chase down New South Wales. There you go, Queensland.
They're not going to let them get away with this. Queensland got a really nice runner happening. Steve Davies, the sweep here. Stepping back, nice. They're going to be stopping New South Wales. Is still rowing at this stage.
Right up alongside New South Wales. So that amazing runner in the middle of nowhere from Peter Spence. They're back to level pegging now. I reckon Queensland will actually tag first here.
Here we go, Queensland are on the line first. New South Wales going with them. This is incredibly close by these two clubs.
There's a little bubble here in front of both crews. That's it. Nice work.
So Bateman's Bay on the left with Dickie Beach on the right. So that's a Bateman's Bay Reserve women's crew, is that correct?
That is. They're also the 180 Masters women's crews.
Yes.
Phenomenal effort. Neil Innes. Talk about people being the best in the business. They don't get much better than Neil. Came away from the Australian titles a couple of years back with 4 silver medals for 4 crews.
There's WA running on screen now. So just on the side here, I've just had a notice come through. So for reserve grade, we are chasing the following crews. We've got Fairhaven, North Bondi, North Cottesloe, Coolum Beach, Currumbin, Maroochydore, Maroubra, Port Campbell, Coolangatta, Noosa and St Kilda and Williamstown all need to get to marshalling. Just to double check their check-ins. Alrighty, and back to the interstate here. So Dickie Beach really keeping the pressure on. So that's the under-23 women's crew, the Tushies. Glenelg on screen here. This is the under-23 women's. They are the Australian representatives as well. A nice look at that stroke. That is so clean, isn't it?
They're doing a really good job. We saw in their individual race, they got a bit of a clash at the start there, and they had the ability to row them back down. Here we go into the turn. So Queensland turning first. New South Wales just overshooting that turn there. Once you get to this level, it's the littlest things make the biggest differences. So overshooting a turn by half a length by New South Wales. They're just blown out to 1.5 lengths out of the turn. And that's how mistakes happen. Sweeps realise that the smallest margins make the biggest differences. They'll come into a turn really tight and sometimes even miss the buoy on the spin because they're coming in so tight, trying to get those little tiny little margins to get on top of another crew. As you see Queensland here doing a fantastic job. See the boat pick up and run there. They'll try and milk this runner for all it's worth. They're getting close enough to shore now that some of these runners really stand up, and you see there the boat speed just pick up. Bow drop down.
Oh, look at that run. Sorry, I've just been running off doing something else, but Dickie Beach mowing down New South Wales, taking a very clear lead.
Queensland coming away with it. That's a huge row from Queensland there. Great run chase. Turnover now, Queensland set and away there. New South Wales only getting up and running now. Very heavy legs after that row. Looks like Peter Spence, his crew, they've had a clean start there. They'll be trying to mow these Queenslanders down, give New South Wales a sniff.
So just a quick one back on those reserve crews to check in. You have 10 minutes. You must check in either at the event compound or text the event hotline. An announcement was made yesterday with the number. Please check in via that number.
South Australia just coming down now. So they've just fallen back a little bit, probably a little bit too far to peg New South Wales back and maybe have a shot at chasing them down on the overall points score. But Northcott, Western Australia have started to mow down South Australia and Victoria at the other end of the beach there, just off screen. Just getting a little bit checked by a wave.
Okay, so I'm just going to repeat those other clubs that need to check in urgently. Fairhaven, North Bondi, North Cottesloe, Coolum Beach, Currumbin, Maroochydore, Maroubra, Port Campbell, Coolangatta, Noosa, St Kilda and Williamstown. Please urgently text the event hotline that you are attending and checked in, or go to the event compound. You have 10 minutes.
And a very good turn there. Spency, Palm Beach. We saw how much the turn cost in the last leg. And Spency's just made up that distance now. So Queensland just falling off the back of that runner, just losing a little bit of boat run as they change direction as well. Spency probably holding the title line at the moment. And as a result, maintaining that boat speed. Every time a sweep pushes or pulls on the oar, the boat changes direction. Generally speaking, you wash off a little bit of speed. So any change of direction wants to be really smooth, almost like you've got soft hands on the oar. Same as when you're rowing, soft hands on the handle. But Queensland here, they're not going to let New South Wales go away with it.
So this is the reserve women's here. This is Savages.
New South Wales just skipping ahead there off screen and latching onto another wave. So Spency having a very good morning in terms of picking waves and runners.
Absolutely. Not giving it any chance. So you can also see Malcolm Trees in the middle there with his camera ready. He's our event photographer for the weekend. There goes Haiti Pisaltis. She's the runner for, and also sweet runner Rose with her brother Billy.
So there we go, Queensland away. They've had a decent start.
Yeah, I believe that's actually the Huskarls actually in reserve men's. They're going to give it everything they can to catch back up to New South Wales. Here we go, SA running on screen. I think they're going to be heading out for third place at this stage.
Actually, South Australia have broken away from WA and they're on the hunt here for the first two. They've still got a lot of work to do, but as we've seen so far, crews have picked up runs from halfway out at sea coming back in.
Yep, so there goes WA running. So this is the under 23 girls from City of Perth. This is their leg.
Yeah, so City of Perth under 23 girls representing WA, and they just got a little bit caught at the start there. As they jumped in, the boat grounded out, and that is Victoria, I think, doing their changeover now. One of the lawn crews, one of the many lawn crews. A couple of waves in front of them. Look at that. Queensland not letting go. So Queensland have caught up another 2 or 3 lengths. This lead has changed every single lead. New South Wales and Queensland. How many times have we heard that? Queensland crews will know that they've got the lead on the overall points, but they'll really want to dominate this. And I think prove a point here. Been a couple of unlucky years for them where they perhaps haven't got the run of luck, or different things haven't gone their way. And we've got another little swell building here. So New South Wales just hanging on to need that bow to drop. It's just going to hold up that little bit, but there is another swell here behind them. Same thing there. Queensland just falling off the back of it, but they're just going to be that little bit in front. I think they can get to shore.
This has really been going between Queensland and New South Wales with those leads, hasn't it? I mean, they have been drastic differences, and it's amazing how they're able to catch up and then overtake one another. We can hear it. This is the last leg of the day as well. So this is the Currumbin Krakens, the open men. That's their final leg, and Bulli will be representing New South Wales, and they're going to give it everything they can to catch back up to Queensland.
So in the individual race, we saw that Queensland stuck it to Bulli the whole way around the course. It was only right at the end where Bulli sort of skipped away. And they'll be looking to do the same thing here to maintain that little lead that they've got. Bulli, on the other hand, will know that these points are invaluable. They'll see it as a challenge.
Absolutely. So off screen, we have South Australia also heading back to the beach. They're very comfortably in third place, and they've got their last leg to go as well. Seems like WA are also still ahead of Victoria at this stage. There's SA runner, final leg, hitting the boat. A nice jump in for those boys there.
Using the Grange boat there. Looks like perhaps they're open men.
Bit of a double up, managing it well though, still locking on over the back.
You know what? Bulli have not taken 1 single inch off Queensland here. New South Wales is still probably that little bit behind.
That's WA on screen. That's the under-23 girls for their last lap, and they've got one more to go.
You feel sorry for those.
Victoria approaching, also coming in for their last leg.
Feel sorry for those bow rowers having to row all that way, full pace, and then get out and run.
It's hell.
Yeah.
Okay, we've off screen, that is Queensland doing it as much as possible. Bulli is trying to chase them down.
Well, I've got a little runner here. The Queensland look like they've got an even better runner. And
Absolutely.
They're opening up.
We can hear Queensland on the beach already screaming at them to make sure they hold it. It's going to be insane on the beach when they come back. Queensland on this runner, milking it as much as possible, holding on to it.
They've just dropped off the back here.
They don't want to open it up to Bulli as they change gear to get the runner behind.
New South Wales don't look like they've got too much. They've got a tiny little run building here. Queensland just dropped off the one.
No, they're on it. They're on something. Bulli coming up behind. Queensland are just a bubble ahead, though. They're coming in straight. Bulli are jumping on it, though. Jesse's a fast bowman, though. There's Queensland cheering them on. They're going to lose it. Absolutely incredible. This is a long time coming, this victory for Queensland. And Corey will just lose it. He is going to have kittens, I would say.
Full congratulations to Queensland there. They never gave up every single leg. It seemed to be neck and neck between New South Wales and Queensland. Even when New South Wales skipped ahead, Queenslanders never gave up, fought their way back.
So off screen now we have SA coming in. They're going to be taking away the third place here very comfortably.
On screen there, big hugs all around.
Yeah, the Krakens will be really proud with that effort. A great job by those boys. No mistakes there at all. Really strong crew. SA on screen.
South Australia, enough of a buffer here. They can just cruise into shore on a little one.
So it'll be interesting to see how those points with them taking out third, how that'll affect the overall point score, if they do have enough to potentially knock off New South Wales or not. Are you crying yet?
I'm almost. No, full credit to Queensland. They deserved it. They were good all day. They had a few setbacks in a couple of different races. They didn't let it get to them. They overcame it. And once you get to this level, for every state, sometimes there's a big gap between first and fifth. But for every state, like you're looking at the absolute very best for each division from each state. So you expect that mentality of an elite athlete to be able to never give up and to always chase down. We see Victoria here coming across the line in fourth. The big man, Jeff Matthews, he's one of his many long crews. And Victoria managing to sneak past WA, is just going to come into the beach now in fifth. So I did my best to put the commentator's curse on Queensland. I had a little voodoo doll up here as well, and
it didn't work.
Nothing worked. So
oh, that is a big day, big morning. So we'll have an overall point score very soon, but I think everyone's confident to say that Queensland's finally taken out the championship for the Interstate. Corey will be sleeping with that trophy for the next year. He won't be letting it go anytime soon, I'm sure.
See New South Wales back of screen there, waiting to congratulate Queensland. So great sportsmanship from all the states here, all the crews. When you're on the water, you want to annihilate each other and bash each other and not give an inch. But as soon as it's over, everyone shakes hands, has a smile on their face, wishes each other well. That's the way sport should be. And it's good to see WA may not have got the result overall that they, in a few of those divisions that they wanted, but first time back racing, as a complete state.
Yes.
After all the dilemma with COVID and border closures and everything else, it's great to see them over here as a whole team racing, and they'll get a lot out of it. I think they'll come back next year and be bigger, better, stronger.
Yeah, absolutely. That's correct. So, and it has been 3 years since they've attended the Interstates as well. Because they obviously had 2 years of border closures, and then previous to that we had to cancel the Interstate at Mollymook.
Yes. We've had a good run of weather events at the ASRL Open, the Australian Open.
Yes.
We've had no shortage of different reasons for event to be postponed or cancelled or relocated. And full credit to people like yourself, Eddie, and to the officials, the work parties. Every year we've managed to...
Alrighty, here are the results. So Queensland in first, New South Wales in second, South Australia in third, Victoria in fourth, and Western Australia in fifth. So that was for the relay results. And this is
Oh,
the
here we
overall
go.
point score. Wow. Queensland,
Queensland.
112. New South Wales, 105. South Australia, 94. Victoria, 90. And Western Australia, 82.
That's a dominant victory by Queensland. Normally, the last few years when it has been on, we've seen New South Wales and Queensland locked in that 1 and 2 position, but maybe only separated by 1 or 2 points.
Absolutely, yes.
It's come down to one critical race, but to go away with it by 7 points, that is a definitive victory by Queensland, and they well and truly deserve it.
Absolutely. Alrighty, so for our next part, we're going to be having reserve grade starting at 11:30, 12 o'clock start. So live stream will be recommencing at 11:30. And we're only going to be covering the northern area. So this is the current area that we'll be in today and filming from here.
And hopefully there's not too much noise. We got the Westpac rescue helicopter come in to watch a bit of racing as well, sitting just above the competition area, having a look, checking things out.
So thank you all for joining us here this morning. We want to thank everyone, of course, Bulleye Surf Life Saving Club, Destination New South Wales, Team Navy, ASRL, and Defence Jobs, as well as Wollongong Council for having us. It's been absolutely fantastic so far, and we're looking forward to the rest of the weekend to come. Make sure you keep an eye out on the socials and also newsletters, ASRL website too for all your latest updates. And we will see you all throughout the weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.